Hello, YouTube. Today we are going to be talking about ex-MPD Officer Thao. In case you don't remember who Thao is one of four police officers charged in the death of George Floyd. Here are the other three people charged in George Floyd's death: Derek Chauvin, J. Alexander Kegg, and Thomas Lane, along with Officer Thao. These four police officers charged in the death of George Floyd, in which Derek Chauvin held George Floyd down to the ground with his knee on his neck for 9 minutes and 26 seconds. That's Derek Chauvin. Thao is one of the ex-police officers who stood by and did not stop Derek Chauvin from violating George Floyd's civil rights. Yep. He did nothing to help George Floyd. This happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Former Minneapolis police officer held back the crowd of bystanders during George Floyd's fatal arrest. He was charged with aiding and abetting and second-degree manslaughter. Thao was convicted and sentenced to 4 years and 9 months in prison. Thao spoke up for about 20 minutes. He preached to the courtroom. Yes, he did, honey. He preached about how they wanted to kill, how the Pharisees wanted to kill Jesus. He had discovered Christianity and how he had prayed for everyone involved in this case, even though the judge was not impressed. It was as if Thao was delivering a sermon to the court. Yep. And the judge admonished him. He said, Mr. Thao, that your culpability is less than Derek Chauvin's, but well above Mr. Kegg and Mr. Lane. He said, Mr. Thao, you were in a position to have saved George Floyd, but you chose not to. So you will be sentenced at the top of the range for punishment. Thao had no visible reaction to his sentence of 4 years and 9 months. When asked if he had any questions, Thao said no. God bless you, Judge, and God bless the jury. The judge gave him credit for his 340 days he had already served since his arrest. All four officers have now been charged and convicted in the murder of Mr. George Floyd. Mr. Thao was the last one. Derek Chauvin, right here, was found guilty of second-degree murder, unintentional murder, and third-degree murder. And as such, he was sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison. He was also given 21 years of prison for violating George Floyd's civil rights. His sentences will run consecutively. Lane and Kegg, or whatever his name is, and Thao were found guilty of violating George Floyd's civil rights because they did not step in or take any action to stop Derek Chauvin during George Floyd's fatal arrest. They also, Lane and Keg also pled guilty to aiding and abetting, which is a second-degree manslaughter charge. They were sentenced to 3.5 years. So these two men right here, Keg and Lane, they both got 3.5 years in prison. The state of Minneapolis agreed to pay the family of George Floyd $27 million. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up button, and I guess I'm out. I would also like to mention that this happened May 25th in 2020. And here we are in 2023, and the last of these men have now been charged with murder in the death of George Floyd. Well, manslaughter in the death of George Floyd. They have now all been convicted. Derek Chauvin, 22.5 years. Keg, I believe he got 2.5 years. And this man right here, he got 2.5 years. And Thao got 4.5 years. Because as a superior officer, he could have stepped in and stopped Derek Chauvin, but he chose not to. What he did was hold the crowd back and keep anybody from rendering aid to Mr. George Floyd. So, Mr. George Floyd cannot rest in eternal peace. My condolences go out to his family. All 4 men that were instrumental in your death have now been convicted and sentenced. Well, they were charged, convicted, and then sentenced. All right, guys. Y'all stay healthy, stay blessed, and I'm out.